Welcome back. The program is still Breakfast Weekend. For those of you that are just joining us, well, on this segment, we are going to be taking a look at children in communities that lack basic education. And we have a non-governmental organization that has taken that upon itself to educate these children and give them a better life. We have with us in the studio Ms. Odunayo Aliu, the director of Bramble Initiative. It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you.
So what's Bramble Initiative all about?
Okay, so Bramble is an organization that creates alternative learning spaces in the marginalized part of Nigeria. So we recently started last year, and what we have been able to do is we did a community awareness program in Bere, because, you know, as we all know, that Bere is one of the poorest parts of Ibadan. And there are lots of children living in that place who do not have
maybe
access.
more one of the marginalized, but not poorest.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, and there are lots of children who live in that community who do not have access to education. There's no school in there at all. So, and they don't consider it as necessary because even many of them have lost faith in education already. So we went there to enlighten their parents and the community members and the children themselves that, okay, this is what education can do to you, this is why you need education and things like that. Then after that, we intend to follow up in the community by setting up a learning space in there.
Before we go into detail of what you do, I mean your activities, what informed your decision to set up this organization?
Okay, so...
No, what propelled your decision to venture into this kind of activity?
Okay, I would say not one thing particularly. We started our work since 2016, and back then I was still in Ondo. I was living in Ondo, and we usually see a lot of children around us that don't go to school, but you know, it has become a normal thing for us. We just see them and we overlook them. But around that time, I started thinking about, okay, why should this be the normal? Why should this be, and things like that. Then I met a particular boy. His name is Dada. He was just about 4-year-old then, very short, and you know, Dada, he had dreadlock. So I was drawn to this little boy because when I was his age, I had Dada too. Yeah. Then I approached his supposed mother, and I discovered that woman was his grandmother, and I also lived with my grandmother. So like, so many things kind of attracted me to the boy. He didn't have a shoe. He was putting on a very small clothes, and he was not going to school. He does not have.
He looked impoverished.
Yeah. So that was the first thing that I did. So I tried to buy him shoes, put him in school, and from there we started extending the work to other children with the help of my friends. So since that time, you were asking about my motivation. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about.
But since that time, you stayed the course.
Yeah.
You were going to tell us how you stayed the course.
Okay. So since that time, we have been able to mobilize educational resources for over 300 children, and we adopted 36 of them for regular sponsorship. So we have been doing that until last year. Until 2017, towards the end of 2017, we started thinking that, okay, what more? We're sending these children to school, but are they really learning? What are they impacting into them in the schools that we're sending them to? So we started thinking that, okay, maybe we should start a school. But we don't know the kind of school we wanted, but we know all the kind of schools that we don't want. So I studied education. And I got to hear about alternative means to education. So I started reading about it. Okay, what can I do differently and things like that. Then last year I got a scholarship to study somewhere outside, and fortunately that country has a lot of alternative schools.
Wow.
So that was where I developed the idea of Bramble to come and implement in our own context at all.
Now, this alternative space, tell us what it means.
Okay. So alternative education means, alternative ways to learning outside of the traditional schools that we have. So it could be as simple as learning in a place like this, bringing in children and giving them resources that they need to learn.
Okay.
And it could be as complicated as taking them to the forest if they want to learn about biology, taking them to the forest to, you know, see things, touch trees, an open campus. It's like broad. So it depends on the kind of children you're working with and the kind of community you are. So
and the kind of objective you want to pursue.
Want to achieve, exactly. So for us, we want to promote the culture of self-learning in Nigeria. We want them to find the passion of learning, because we discover that people they're not learning because they love to learn anymore. We are just the drive that, okay, I just have to go to
get a certificate so I can have it.
I want to be rich and things. So we want children to find their passion for learning again. So yeah, that is what is informing the kind of approach we are going to be making.
Now, this is laudable, I mean, if you ask me. And it's also people who do things about it. So it's inspiring to meet a Nigerian who felt a burden and took steps to address those Malay that he or she has observed in the society. So I want to say kudos to you. But I still find it curious to establish the funding for such a program. How do you get funded?
Okay, so of course we try to approach organizations that provide funding for this kind of work, education, children and things like that. But much more importantly, we work with the community. We try to make sure that one of our approaches is make sure that we use the resources that can be found in the community. We use local resources to facilitate learning. And we also work with the people in the community. We want them to own this thing, that okay, we are not coming to push an idea on you. It has to be their own.
Okay.
So when we were in Bere, we engaged the parents and the community members. We're asking them that, okay, we didn't tell them that we have a solution in mind. So we're asking them that, okay, you have all this problem, you have all these challenges. We're listening to them. So what do you think can be done? So they were giving us solutions like, okay, maybe we have a lesson, tuition center. Then we're telling them that, okay, then you also know that education is not just about reading and learning how to read and write and getting certificates. Then they were like, okay, that's true. They may be getting skills for the children. You know, they were coming with the ideas themselves, and they are so happy because the idea is from them.
Original.
Yeah. So now if we are going back there to implement all these things, it will not be so difficult for them to give us a space, you know,
to open up to you.
Yes. So even they have skills, even though the parents are not so educated, they have skills. We have carpenters, we have plumbers. They can teach the children all these skills. It's part of education.
So they have this ownership, this sense of ownership of the idea.
Yeah.
So they buy into the idea already exists.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Then the people that work with you, how do you get them? The people that work with you,
okay, so,
members of your team, I mean.
Okay, so like I said, this started with me and my friends.
Okay.
So then it's grew to a lot of people wanting to volunteer for us.
Okay, so you have a lot of volunteers.
We have volunteers, and yeah. So that is. By the time I talk to people about this, you know, that's the beautiful thing. Many youths, many Nigerians, they are passionate. They want to do something. We just don't know how to do it. So it's easy to get them to commit in some ways, maybe their services, their time to this initiative.
So.
Yes.
So for you, was there a point in time where you felt discouraged? And if you did, what was the problem? What was the challenge at that time in pursuit of this goal?
Okay.
Because I mean, achieving this with 300 children is not a small feat.
It's not easy.
Okay. I would say after a while when we started. So, and the issue was with parents.
Okay.
Some of the parents we worked with, and even people. So there was this perception they had then that you cannot just want to do something good if you don't have money. You understand? So the first outreach we did then was to Ajambuto village. That's like, those states, quite far from Akure to Ijare to Ajambuto. So we went through a lot of hurdle to get to this town.
Wow.
Like, it's so far, it's not motorable. We didn't know. We started out and we finally got there. And they told us that they had about, it's a small community, right? And they had about 23 children that were not going to school. And we're so excited. Okay, let's do something and all that. So the leader, they call them ballet. So he pointed a house to us that, okay, there's a girl in that house that doesn't go to school, and he wanted to do something for her, but he just don't have the means. That now that you guys are here, go there. So we went to this house, and there was a man sitting at the entrance of the house. He did not allow us to see the girl. Why? Because he wanted us to give him money.
Oh.
And we're like, we don't have money. We are young people. We are students and all that. I was like, no. I'm sure government has given him money. He was giving money and things like that.
Wow.
We had to leave the place without seeing.
So you were not able to do anything in that village?
Yeah, because.
And you didn't go back since then?
So we met two other girls.
From that village?
Yeah, so Joy and Favor and things like that.
And so, those two girls?
For them, we were able to just do a little for them.
You couldn't do much there.
Yeah, we couldn't do much.
It's just like the case of Jesus Christ that was not accepted in his.
And then he dusted his sandal. So that was a low point for you.
Not really low. It was one of the challenges we had to deal with.
At the initial stage?
Yeah, at the initial stage. So we had to restructure the way we approach people and things like that. Then parents, we also have to let them know that, okay, these are your children. You don't just dump all the responsibility on us. You also have, you have to put your skin into the game and things like that. So.
And then, boom, everything started working.
So, yeah.
And it started getting results. Well, thanks so much for coming, Ms. Odunayo. It's been nice talking to you. And we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thanks so much for coming. Well, the program has been Breakfast Weekend. And, well, today's episode was quite inspiring. It was entertaining at the same time. We had a lot to learn, especially from the marriage point of view.
Yeah, from the marriage counselors. Now we know that staying true to your marital calling and your marital vows requires prayers and also a lot more other things.
Discipline.
You need to keep your mind disciplined. You need to also understand the psychological gaps that needs to be filled from the point of view of the woman as well as the man. But most importantly, communication, open communication, open communication, open communication. The more you talk about it, and then you don't do this shaming thing. Once you're able to communicate with your spouse and your spouse doesn't judge you, you feel a desire to communicate more. You must be naked but not ashamed.
Exactly.
That's what marriage is all about.
Exactly.
And that's what our marriage counselors were able to tell us on the program today.
Yeah.
So couples need to communicate and interact more and more and more and more to understand the definition of infidelity. I mean, that's a new one I'm taking away.
I mean, it's
you must
it's
understand,
for
you
me
must
too.
understand your spouse's definition of infidelity.
Even your spouse's definition
Your
of
spouse's
love.
definition of love. Your spouse's definition of time.
Exactly.
Your spouse's definition of the biological needs and cravings of sex and other things.
It was indeed an
so that you're not operating from your own assumption or from your own knowledge, but you're operating from your spouse's assumption, from your spouse's knowledge.
And
that for me is actually the jigsaw that needs to be filled. If I'm operating from your definition, then I'll be meeting your need.
Exactly.
But if I'm operating from my definition, I may not be defining it the way you desire.
And in the process, you are putting your spouse first. And while you're doing that, the spouse is also putting you first.
And so the jigsaw
so the thing becomes solid, and there's really nothing.
And I am also inspired by what Bramble is doing.
Yes.
Because for me, the key to societal advancement, well-being, is education, not just going to school and obtaining a certificate. That's not my idea of education. It's about learning in a way that is constructive, in a way that critically refurbishes your mind.
Your mind.
You know, so that you are able to add value and contribute to humanity.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage many more Nigerians out there to do something about that which you have a burden for. we are burdened by many things.
Exactly.
We should do something about it.
And not just talk about it.
Yeah, it's been a role for me on the program today, and we want to say our goodbyes, I think.
Yeah, it's so sad to say so, but we have to, so that we can come back and strategize for another interesting episode next week. My name is Kenny Orire, and do have a wonderful weekend.
And I'm Femi Padiola. Have a productive working week ahead, but most importantly, have a fun-filled and sumptuous weekend.